Today I want to do something a little bit different and answer some of the frequently asked cell phone repair questions. Before I get started though, I want to give a thanks to everyone out there who has helped to make this channel successful. I really did not anticipate to have 20,000 subscribers at this point. So for me, that's a big milestone. Seems like a lot of people. And when I started out, I just kind of wanted to help other technicians in the field have an easier time of doing their job. But it looks like there are a lot of people out there that want to do their own phone repair, and that is awesome. So if I don't respond to your questions, and I do try to as often as I can in the comment section, it's probably because I've just literally run out of time and resources to get to those. And that's one of the reasons that I put this together. I'm hoping that I can answer a lot of questions at one time. If I can, I will reply to your questions, again, time permitting. Otherwise, if you just said, hey, thanks, awesome video, believe me, I see those comments. I love them. I can't go back and respond to everyone individually, but when I have time, I do make an effort to do so. So again, big thanks to everyone out there for subscribing, sharing the videos, hitting the like button. I really do appreciate every single one of them. Will I lose any of my phone's data? In most cases, the answer to this question is always no. The majority of my channel is going to be hardware repair, and under those circumstances, you should never lose any of your phone's data. Now, I can never say never. It's very unlikely, but I have seen some strange things happen along the way. So obviously, if you're doing a software repair or you're swapping out your logic board, whatever data is on that logic board is going to stay with it when you move it to another phone. Anything that's on your memory card is going to stay with the memory card wherever you put that. But if you change the screen on your phone, no, you should not lose any data. As long as you follow all of the steps precisely and you don't make any mistakes along the way, you should have no problems. That said, I always recommend everyone make a backup of their data. You don't have to put it on the cloud. You can back it up on your own computer. You can put a lot of things you can export to your memory card if you have that option. And I would do that on a regular basis, even if my phone's not broken, because if you do break or lose your phone, all that data is gone. So by all means, back it up. But no, you should not lose any data unless you're doing a software restore or hard reset or something like that. Will this void my warranty? This is probably number 2 or number 3 as far as popularity goes. And the answer isn't really straightforward. Will fixing your phone void your warranty? No, but breaking your phone will. So when you break your phone in the first place, that's when the warranty is over with for the most part. If you cracked your screen, you have liquid damage, any signs of physical abuse, the manufacturer's warranty is no longer valid. So whether you fix your phone or not usually is not an issue, although there are a few exceptions to that rule, and that generally comes into play when you're dealing with Apple, because if you go to an Apple store with a broken screen, they will give you some options for replacing the screen under their terms and conditions, but if you've already tampered with the phone or opened it up, they're not going to help you at all. And if they find anything else wrong with the phone when they open it up, they're going to say, sorry, we couldn't fix it, and now you have to upgrade and pay a little bit more for the replacement, which is usually around $350, depending on which phone model you have at the time of this video. So my suggestion is obviously don't break your phone in the first place, but if you do, you rarely have much to lose unless you just don't know what you're doing and you have a very high dollar device that you bought from Apple. In that situation, you might want to explore your options with them before you proceed with the repair. Do I need a heat gun? In most cases where you see me using a heat gun, it is highly recommended. Now, do you have to go down to the store and buy a heat gun if you don't already have one? Not necessarily. But something like this will run you about 15 bucks and it will increase your chances of success. Now, there are situations where I recommend a heat gun. There are other situations where I say you absolutely must have a heat gun. And there are some where you could probably get by without it, and I just use it because it makes things easier. The reason I do is because when you're working with adhesives, they tend to be far more difficult to separate from a surface when they're at room temperature. So if you hit it with the heat gun and you raise it up to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it makes it a lot easier to work with, and this will reduce your chances of breaking other parts of the phone, whatever that adhesive might be stuck to. You can always use a blow dryer, but it will take much longer to reach the temperature that you need to be at when you're working with the phone. I've even had some people say they set the phone out in the sun on a hot day and it gets it nice and warm, but really if you don't have time to do that, I would run down and grab one of these for 15 bucks. It's one of the best investments you'll ever make when it comes to repair. It can be used for a lot of other household things when you're working with adhesives or you need to heat something up. I have an entire page that talks about when, how, and why to use a heat gun properly. And if you still have questions about it, I recommend you take a look at that and hopefully you'll get the answer that you're looking for. Do you use OEM parts? Now, this question is a little more complicated. In most situations, the display that you get, in other words, the LCD or the AMOLED, will be an OEM part with rare exception. A lot of the times, however, the glass that's been fitted onto that display is not going to be OEM. And by OEM, what I mean is if you were to buy a phone brand new today, take it out of the package, it's never been used, it has all OEM parts on it. Most manufacturers do not sell replacement parts for their phones, period. Now, the parts that you get will generally come from somewhere, in very oftentimes the same exact factory in China where the phone came from originally, which kind of makes me laugh when I hear people make comments about, oh, this is some cheap Chinese imitation. Well, with rare exception, most phone parts come from China. They're generally manufactured in Shenzhen or the factory is called Foxconn for the most part when you're dealing with Apple. There are a few other places that manufacture parts. Some of them do come from Korea, and a long time ago, BlackBerry used to manufacture things in Mexico and somewhere in one of the Slavic countries, if I remember correctly. But for the most part, nowadays, the phones that you get are coming from China, the parts are coming from China, and in many situations, they're the exact same suppliers that sell to the manufacturer. So it's a very difficult answer to give you with 100% accuracy. But let me put it this way. If you broke your phone and you want a 100% OEM part, you would have to go get another phone that's never been taken apart before and remove the part from that phone and put it onto yours. Now, if it's a brand new part, that means that you took a brand new phone, removed a part, and sold it to someone, and that means the cost is going to be significantly higher than any type of refurbished part that you're going to purchase. There are some differences in the quality from one manufacturer to another, so that's what you really have to look out for. And a lot of times these indications of low quality are very apparent. Sometimes you won't know until the glass breaks under what would normally not be a problem, impact-wise. I've been through dozens of suppliers and tested them and gone back and forth, and eventually we landed upon a few that work very well and they have high quality parts, and we kind of stick with them. So I know that was a very long drawn out answer, but for the most part, you're not going to get an OEM part. You may get an OEM quality or the equivalent, but they're not going to be the ones that go through the same factory where your phone was manufactured. So I followed the tutorial and now my phone doesn't work, or I've got the same problem or a different problem. I get this every once in a while, and the interesting thing is that don't automatically blame yourself. Yes, people make mistakes, but under the best circumstances, the world's best technician will occasionally put a phone back together and it won't work. And it's very frustrating because even if you follow the directions to the letter, do everything the way you're supposed to, you can still have problems. Now, these problems are going to be more common on certain phones than others. It will also vary somewhat according to the manufacturer of the phone. For the most part, we don't see as many problems with project phones when we're dealing with Apple, Samsung, and LG. On the other hand, if you're working with HTC, Motorola, Huawei, or ZTE, it seems that there is a higher occurrence of difficulty after the repair, no matter who performs it. So keep that in mind if you're trying to decide if this is something that you want to do for yourself, which brings me to the next question. Should I do this repair myself? I get this a lot, and I wish I could give you an answer right across the board. This is flat out what it is, but it's not that easy because I don't know you and I don't know what your technical aptitude is. So when I am teaching my techs to fix phones, I can kind of see what they're doing, give them feedback, and say, you know, this person is going to be very good at this process and not at another process. I'd like to believe that everyone in the world can learn to fix cell phones, at least for the basic repairs, but that's not always true. There are some people out there that aren't good at it. So if you don't feel like you have a steady hand, a lot of patience, or the understanding after watching the video and feel confident, like, you know, I'm pretty sure I can reproduce the same thing that happened in this video, then I would suggest that you seek the help of a professional. And that's always the advice that I give people. When in doubt, hire someone who knows what they're doing if you feel that you have a lot at risk. If it's a phone you're not worried about, and if it breaks, oh well, then go ahead and take your chances. But if you think, you know, if I break this, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble, it's going to cost me a lot of money, I'm going to lose a lot of data, why take the chance? What kind of adhesive do I use? I get this a lot. This might be the most popular question ever because it's kind of spread across several different projects and different videos that I do and on my website and Facebook and everywhere else. So I do want to show you something real quick. Whenever possible, I use pre-cut adhesive. So just about any phone out there that's prevalent on the market will, by this time, have a pre-cut adhesive. These are made to be exactly the size of the manufacturer's adhesive that was on your phone when you bought it. They're sticky on both sides. All you have to do is peel off this plastic stuff and apply it to the surface, and then when it's installed, you can remove the other side. My two favorite types of adhesive to use are the red tape adhesive, which comes on a roll, and it comes in just about any width from 1 millimeter up to about 3/4 of an inch and everything in between. So those are really nice. I use the 1 millimeter and the 2 millimeter quite a bit, and I use the 1/2 inch, I believe it is, for, is it 1/2 inch or 3/4, I think, that I use for putting iPads together, because that strip is just the right size to go down the edge and hold everything down. It's very, very sticky. It has a little bit of thickness to it, so it does keep everything in place. You don't get that clicking noise when you have like a really cheap adhesive. Some of the ones that come with the iPad digitizers that you buy, the black stuff, I just haven't found those to be really strong. So sometimes you'll need a little bit more adhesion, especially when the frame's got a slight bend to it. So I use that most of the time. I also like to use the 3M 300 LSE. Used to come on sheets, and we would use it for fixing 3Gs way back in the day. And that stuff you can just kind of cut really easily with a sharp pair of scissors and make it into whatever shape you need it to be. Do I fix people's phones? Yes, I actually do. And I like to get involved in the repair process whenever possible. I don't just publish videos. I actually train a team of technicians and new hires so that they can fix phones. And for a while I was doing cell phone repair training. I'm not doing that at this time because I am employed full-time as a repair manager for a repair company. But as often as I can possibly make this happen, I like to get my hands dirty. I like to take the phones apart, see what's new, what methods are going to work, and then that way I can pass it on to my technicians and hopefully pass it on to anyone who is subscribing or watching my channel. I do fix phones occasionally. I'll have someone send a phone to me, and I say that in most cases, it depends. If you were to ask me if I could fix your phone, I would say, well, let's think about this. First of all, where are you located? I'm on the West Coast in California, so if you're on the other side of the country, sending your phone to me may not be the best choice for you. There are probably some qualified people in your area that can help you out. I'm flattered if you feel like you want to send your phone to me to have you fix it. I would absolutely love to. Obviously, there's going to be some turnaround time involved in that process, so it can't be, you know, I'm going to overnight my phone and I need to get it back the next day, because I really can't operate that way under my current situation. So I'm happy to take care of phones. If you like, take a look down in the comment section and you'll be able to figure out how to contact me regarding phone repair. And I recommend that you do that for a couple of reasons, and I say this with hesitance because I don't want anyone to take this as me being critical, but the fact is, if people are not able to figure out how to get their phones to me, I don't feel confident that we're going to have good communication on both sides, and that is absolutely necessary, especially if you're going to be trusting me with your phone. So you need to be able to get a hold of me, I need to be able to answer you, and we both need to feel comfortable doing business with each other. So feel free to hit me up if you have something that needs to be fixed, and I will see what I can do. If I'm not in your area, I may know someone who is, and I'll be happy to refer you to someone that I know is qualified and competent and can help you out. Can you make a video about XYZ, my specific phone? I get this one every once in a while, and I hate to say no. I really want to say, yeah, you know what, whatever your phone is, I will make a video for it. But unfortunately, there are a lot of handsets out there, and I don't have access to quite a few of them. So by all means, if there's a repair out there that you want to see done, feel free to make the suggestion, ask me about it. If I have the phone on hand, I will absolutely make the video. If it's a more obscure phone, the odds are it's going to be difficult for me to get a hold of it and do that. But again, if there's any way that I can make it happen, I absolutely will. And in fact, if it's a phone that we don't normally see too much of and you feel like, hey, I'd be happy sending this in to have you fix it for me, then I would 100% guaranteed make a video so that everyone else can see the process. I saw someone do this repair differently and there's an easier, cheaper method. I am all for making things as easy as possible. On my channel, I make every effort to do two things. And one is to create a video that people can actually follow, even if they're not a technician. And number two is to keep the cost at a minimum. So there's kind of a happy medium between a very expensive, easy repair and a very inexpensive, unsuccessful technique that's very difficult for a lot of people to reproduce. So if you haven't fixed a phone before, you may see another video that says, hey, you can just do the glass on your G3. And yes, you might be able to do that. The only problem is you're going to need some specialized equipment that most people will not have access to. Obviously, if you're in the business or you're a cell phone repair shop, that may be something that you invested in. But if you're just a casual user off the street and you broke your screen, no, you're not going to do the glass only on your LG. You're going to need too much time, equipment, and experience to make that happen successfully, and it's not going to be worth the amount of money that you save. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate the subscriptions, the likes, the shares. You guys are awesome, and I want to keep doing this for a long time. So if you have suggestions for my next cell phone repair frequently asked questions, be sure to put them in the comment section below. And hopefully this answered a few people's questions, and I'll be working on the next video soon. Have a good one. If you found the video helpful, hit the like button and feel free to share it on the social network platform of your choice. Check out some of my recent repair and product review videos, and visit us on the web at gocellphonerepair.com. Thanks for watching.